This is the world of Gog and Magog. Now then, how will power, when it rests on the foundations which are godless, how will that power relate to the primitive peoples of the world? With Zulkarnain, he had the good sense to leave them as they were. See? But no, when Gog and Magog are released, you will see the world experiencing this strange phenomenon, that power will now be used to ruthlessly destroy the primitive way of life. Has this already happened in North America, where the American Indians were ruthlessly exterminated like cockroaches by those who then dressed up and went to church on Sunday morning and declared, "We are the civilized people. Follow us." That ruthless extermination of the primitive peoples is still going on. Guess who are the majority of people in the Canadian prisons? Yes, the native Indians. They fill the prisons of Canada today. Guess who are the people who weep the most in Australia now? Yes, the indigenous peoples. Yes. I went to Canberra, and they showed me this brand sparkling new Parliament building. But across the road, I saw a hut built with all kinds of plywood and so on, many different colors, small hut. And there was a big sign, Parliament of the Aborigines. It's still there, you can go and take a look at it. And so the primitive peoples of the world are going to be targeted and attacked, and the primitive way of life will be destroyed, stamped out ruthlessly by a people who have no humanity, no kindness. They know nothing about it. That's what you're dealing with when Gog and Magog are going to be released. And those primitive people who survive the storm, you will see them. They'll be in blue jeans and eating McDonald's hamburgers and drinking whiskey and drunk, because the reality that they have to face is too painful for them to cope with. This is what the world is going to be like when Gog and Magog are released. The Quran is warning. When will they be released? How will we know that they are released? And what happens when they are released? Does the Quran tell us anything more? Before we go to the Prophet ﷺ, let's go to the Quran. To the one more reference in the Quran, only one more. And where is it? In Surah Al-Anbiya. Surah Al-Anbiya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, since I mentioned this last night in my lecture, I can do it very quickly now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about a town. All those who were there yesterday, put up your hand. Good. He speaks about a town which he destroyed, the people were expelled, and then he placed a ban on them, they could never return until Gog and Magog are released. وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. And they spread out in every direction, procreate, make carbon copies of themselves, make carbon copies of themselves in all directions. So they become the world order. They take control of the world. When that happens, then you will see these people being brought back to their town. Which town is it, we asked? The method that we used last night was to go to the Prophet ﷺ, go to all the ahadith on Gog and Magog. I think I have a lot of them in this book, Jerusalem in the Quran. Go to that, and then you will find, I found 58 ahadith in 9 books of ahadith. And I'll go through all of these ahadith and see which towns are mentioned linked with Gog and Magog. There's only one. Only one. Satu. Which one is it? Jerusalem. Only Jerusalem. Indicating, as plain as daylight, that the town is Jerusalem. And so the Quran is saying that when you see the Jews being brought back to the Holy Land, the explanation that even the University of Singapore can never give, the explanation is that it is the world order of Gog and Magog which have brought the Jews back to the Holy Land. Now this is something of tremendous importance, because the Jews are back in the Holy Land now. If this lecture was delivered 100 years ago, it would not have the impact that it has today, because the Jews are back in the Holy Land, and the state of Israel has been established, while the ulama of Islam are eating halwa. Yeah? Now that we know that Gog and Magog are responsible for bringing the Jews back to the Holy Land, that Gog and Magog are those who control the world, it is now possible for us to go in now and identify Gog and Magog. Don't look so worried now. We go to a hadith first. The hadith is located in Sahih Bukhari 8 times. 8 times in Sahih Bukhari. What I have done in this book is I have recorded all 8 for you in different, slightly different variations, but all 8 are here. When you have 8 ahadith here in Sahih Bukhari, you cannot dismiss this because of one hadith in Sahih Muslim that appears to be in conflict with this. These are 8 in Sahih Bukhari. What does it say? The Prophet said, the Prophet ﷺ was asleep at the home of his wife, Zainab radiallahu ta'ala. He saw something in his sleep. It alarmed him. He woke up. His face was flushed, all red. And he said, Waylul lil Arab, woe unto the Arabs, min sharrin qad iktarama, because of a great evil which will now come upon them. And then he raised his hands like this, made a hole. He says, today a hole has been made in the barrier. Which one? The one built by Zulkarnain. And so the release of Ya'juj and Ma'juj will now commence, because today Allah has made a hole in the barrier. Nobody else can make that hole. Only Allah can do it. Because Zulkarnain says, فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي جَعَلَهُ دَكَّاءَ. When that time comes of which my Lord has warned you, Allah is going to bring down this barrier. When did this experience take place? This is in Medina. This is after the change of Qibla. Okay? It is at this time that the barrier is now brought down. And so Gog and Magog are released in the lifetime of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Are they all released at the same time? No. No. Because first of all, the Quran told us in Surah Kahf that they will be released as waves. وَتَرَكْنَ بَعْدَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. And secondly, there is a hadith in Sahih Muslim which tells us that when Gog and Magog are released, the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee and start to drink the water. I said it last night, didn't I? And by the time the last of them pass, they will say, there used to be water here. It takes a long time to drink out a whole lake of water, isn't it? So the release of Ya'juj and Ma'juj is going to take a long time. They will not all be released at the same time. They were released in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ. Now we can try to identify them. Number one, we're looking for a people who, when they are released, the first people they will attack would be those people whose language nobody could understand. They will be the first people to become carbon copies of Gog and Magog. Yes. Secondly, when they are released, they are going to exhibit an obsession with the Holy Land, because they eventually have to bring the Jews back to the Holy Land.